Marcel, I am no longer the newest Memphian on the call if you are here.
It's good to be here in Memphis, that's for sure.
We're happy to have you here in Memphis.
It's
Welcome.
exciting. It's been a good first week.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Well, everyone on the call, meet Marcel from Aon.
Welcome.
Welcome to
Thank you.
Memphis.
It's great to be here.
Not our newest Chairman Circle member because Nancy keeps bringing him in so quickly, but he's
That's
definitely
good
the
too.
newest Memphian on this call as far as I can tell.
We've got a great crowd. Amity, as you get started, you might encourage introductions like you did last time. I think that's a great idea.
Well, good morning, everybody. We're going to have such a large crowd. If you don't mind just introducing yourself in the chat, your who and your what, that would be great.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, John.
Hello there. Twice in 1 week, the people are going to begin to talk.
Go buy a lottery ticket. So you all, true story, several months ago, there is another Amity that works in the economic development space. She is a consultant that lives in Georgia, but she was here in the chamber office and we were in the same meeting, and we definitely told everyone they had better go buy a lottery ticket, but she was the younger, prettier version. But there are more Amitys in this world. Good morning to everybody that's joining us. If you don't mind, we're not going to do a round of introductions because this is such a robust attendance list, but please introduce yourself in the chat. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
Nancy, Lisa, you tell us when we want to get started.
Yes, I think we should go ahead. Just take it away.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hard earned, I have no doubt. I'm super excited this morning to walk you all through our teacher externship program. So just for some context, here at the Chamber, we really believe that the teacher is our front line of economic development. They are the ones that see students every day. If you can recall your own time in the classroom, it is the teacher who coaches, who informs, who gives ideas, and sort of points students in the right direction. Once upon a time, that used to be the school counselor, but I just want you to understand that for context, the average student to teacher counselor ratio in a high school is 1 to 600, sometimes up to 750. Obviously, our rural communities, it's a little smaller, but in an urban district or a good-sized municipal district, it's going to be 1 to about 600. So the school counselor doesn't exactly fulfill the role that we once thought that it fulfilled as we were possibly in high school. So we have invested heavily in relationships that are at the classroom level. We believe that our lever is the teacher because exponentially over the course of 10 years, they see an awful lot of students. Our externship was our first teacher project. We started with just a proof of concept of 4 teachers. Carissa Holstead, who is my partner in crime here, and has been with me longer than I can even remember as a thought partner in so many different bodies of work, helped us build and scale this to the well-oiled experience that it is today. For context, Carissa and I both come from education in cabinet level roles. Carissa most recently as the superintendent of KIPP Arkansas Charter Schools. And then you all know about me, so we won't go there. This is not our only teacher initiative. Before Christmas, I am excited to say that we signed a first ever memorandum of understanding with the University of Memphis. And I will get to see every classroom teacher, future classroom teacher before they graduate from the teacher college for a 1 hour block of time to introduce them to the Memphis regional economy, to introduce them to the career pathways of the regional economy before they go into the classroom. Also making sure that they have a connection with business inside of the chamber before they step into their classrooms. I just saw 220 teachers that are getting ready to graduate in June, last Friday, about this exact time, actually. And many of them are from Memphis, grew up from Memphis, but knew very little about their regional economy. And so it was great to see the light bulbs come on for them. It was great to see them get re-excited about their community and have a little bit more information before they stepped into the classroom. So I am going to kick it off and let Carissa walk you through a good part of this experience, and then we should have plenty of time for questions at the end. Miss Holstead, take us away.
Thank you so much, Amity. Really excited to walk you all through this today. This is literally one of my favorite things that happens all year. And so excited to share it all with you. But before we get going, I think that we've had plenty of teachers and hosts that have participated in this program before and honestly do a far better job than I could of bringing it to life. So I wanted to share this quick video with y'all before we begin.
I think that it's such an important thing to have somebody like the Chamber of Commerce understand the importance of continuous education for teachers, but more than that, giving them the ability to encourage their students and inspire them in different ways beyond book learning. I think that that is so important, especially in STEM, where it can be very heavy on the book learning, giving them that hands-on experience, pairing them with companies so that they can develop relationships.
I think the more we can do to educate our teachers to what we do and how we do it and what could a career look like for their students is huge. It's a huge benefit. And I think bringing us closer to the classroom and bringing our professionals into the classroom is only going to inspire the passion.
I think that it's
Not want to do that one again. Hold on just a
such,
second.
I think that it's such an important thing to have somebody like the Chamber.
Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. So I have also, while I refix my screen from that little nightmare, I've also asked John Webb to join us, the president of Cigna, to share a little bit about his experience and Cigna's experience with the teacher externship program. In fact, this year will mark the 3rd year that Cigna has participated in the program. And again, I think hearing from those who have participated in it is better than anything else I can share today. So John, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Carissa. Yes, we are very excited about the program ever since the concept first came to us. And it has benefits for twofold. One, obviously for the teachers, it does expand their horizons. There's a lot of things that we assume teachers know, but that they don't know about the real world out there. And the more they're grounded, the better off they are in teaching students, and also can lead students when they have questions about certain industries. And I would say ours is not one of the ones that is the sexiest of all, but the more they understand it, the more they can promote it. And once they get done with our program, they tend to be very excited about healthcare and what we do and how we do it. So I think that's a good thing. The teachers themselves, also gives them a chance for some self-reflection, and they start to maybe expand and learn about other things. That way they can bring more to their students as opposed to just book learning. I think the experiential learning is important. For my team, they get invigorated by the same token, because they too get to learn a little bit more about the education process. They get to meet a teacher up close and personal and start to hear about their challenges, some which they only read about. And so by being with this person for 2 weeks, there's kind of a bond that forms, and they also learn from themselves and think about how else can, we help when it comes to students and the teachers and the challenges they have. So I think and plus it's exciting for our people to have people come in and have some interest in what they do, right? As opposed to going by their day-to-day job. It's not often we get quote unquote visitors like that. Usually we're getting people who want to know about their claim, not so much that want to know about, how we do things and see some of the stuff in person. So I would say I highly endorse the program. I think it's great, and it's also great for us a way to give back to the community. So if you're on the fence, please jump off the fence and jump on the side of being part of this program, because I think you'll get more out of it than you put into it.
Thank you, John.
Krista, I have to also mention that John is the co-chair of the Workforce Task Force with the Chairman's Circle.
Awesome. Well, thank you, John, seriously, for coming and sharing your experience with the team. Investing in educators really does create a ripple effect, one that extends far beyond just the single classroom, like Amity was talking about earlier. When we give teachers that real world industry experience, they bring that knowledge directly to their students and also to their coworkers. So you can't even just think about it in terms of the teacher themselves, but their coworker, their schools, and all of their students, which really does help shape the future workforce of Memphis. So let's talk a little bit about how this program works and the impact it can have both for educators and for businesses like yours. Teachers who have gone through the program call it, basically an eye-opening, game-changing experience. We've had so many teachers who talk about, I'm teaching math concepts and my kids don't understand how this applies or why they need to learn it. And so many of our externs have come back after the externship and said, oh my gosh, I actually got to see, I had never seen this, but I got to see this concept I'm teaching, this principle I'm teaching actually come to life in the field. And now I get to tell my kids, yes, you do need to know this. And this is how it happens. And they're bringing back, work-based learning projects and things in the classroom that are actually happening in industry, which is pretty cool. For businesses, hosts are also sharing that it's not just about helping teachers, but it's also been, like John said, kind of a great experience for their employees as well. Team members who don't normally get involved in community programs really get that chance to mentor and engage. And companies are finding that it's been mutually beneficial, really strengthening their connections to Memphis's future workforce and talent pipelines, while also giving their teams a meaningful way to give back. So let's talk about what this is. Basically, the teacher externship program is an 8-day, 64-hour immersive experience. It takes place from June 9th to August 1st. And basically it's 2 weeks, so 8 days in that time frame, and companies can pick the time frame that works best for them. Any company can participate, and the goal is simple. Give teachers that firsthand industry experience so they can bring it back to their students. So we're going to talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts of how the program works, but before we do that, let's just look a little bit at how it's impactful. So teachers who participate in this really get those firsthand industry insights that they can share with students. They have new teaching strategies that are tied to real-world careers. They have exposure to the technologies that are happening right in your industries that they may not have been able to see in college. Because if you think about it, a lot of our teachers are going through college to teach different subjects, but they've never been in industry to actually see those things come alive. So this is the chance. And of course, connecting back to local industries and creating those, real relationships. To support their work, they do receive a $2,500 stipend for their time and a $250 gift certificate for classroom supplies, which helps them basically buy some supplies so they can bring back what they learned to the classroom. So as a host, you basically commit to helping to create a 64-hour experience for your extern that's engaging, hands-on, and gives teachers that real insight into your industry. You'll identify a point person. This is just somebody who is on your team that can help guide the extern and serve as a main point of contact for us at the chamber. You'll provide a little bit of onboarding, as they come on in terms of, are there any safety things they need to know? You'll provide some safety equipment, not all, but things like goggles or helmets if that's required. And then really just help make sure that they feel welcomed and involved in the experience. And then for participating hosts basically invest $3,500, which includes the coverage for that teacher stipend and classroom gift supply card. It creates a gift card for your business to take your extern to lunch before the program begins, and a little bit of underwriting for chamber support and coordination costs. But along the way, we are here every step of the way to make sure that this is a smooth, valuable experience for both you and your extern. So, what types of businesses are a great fit for this program? Well, as you can see from last year's hosts, we've had participation from a wide range of industries, because at the end of the day, if your company relies on a strong future workforce, this program is for you. So everything from Varsity Spirit to Regional One, healthcare to the airport to hospitality with the Peabody, you name it, we've had somebody involved. And this is just from last year's host. We've had even more wonderful local companies get involved. So let's talk about how it works, the process from start to finish. So right now we're in the midst of the teacher recruitment stage, as well as the host recruitment stage. During this time, we're conducting a pretty extensive vetting process to make sure we've selected the very best candidates to participate in this. We're also talking to hosts who are looking to participate to basically find out what type of extern might make the most sense for their company, what dates work for them during the summer. And then at the end of the application process, we do a matching process. And this is where we really look closely at what teachers are teaching, what they're interested in, and begin making those very customized matches between the teacher and the host. Before those matches are finalized, we reach out to you as a host and say, here's who we think's the best fit and why, a kind of little profile, if you will. And then you get the opportunity to say, yes, I agree, that's a great match. Or actually your second choice, they're really interesting too. But we just make sure that you're comfortable with the match, introduce you to them via email, make sure you have that gift card. You can take them out to lunch, dinner, maybe coffee before they begin, just to break the ice and make sure that they feel welcome, where to park, right? Who to go to when they first get there that day, but just making them comfortable. And then 2 weeks over the June 9th to August 1st timeframe. During that time, we'll check in about midway to make sure things are going well and gather feedback. We'll also check in with the extern to make sure things are going well on their end, and of course, share anything they share with us, with you. So leading up to the externship, I know I told you earlier that we'd be there every step of the way, and we are. So we don't just match you and walk away, right? But we really work with you one-on-one to help develop that externship schedule. We also work to provide the externs with some training and onboarding, as well as some tools and resources they can use during their experience to really make the most of their learning. And of course, we're going to be there every step of the way during the application process and customized matches and all of that. But we're really here from start to finish. Our goal is really to make this as seamless and as easy as possible for each of you.
Hey, Carissa.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, because I sort of want to drive this point home. We set out to design an experience that took all of the guesswork out of it for the teacher as well as the employer, so that you all could really enjoy each other. So we do walk your point of contact. If you sign up, you give us a point of contact to work through, and we walk them through creating an 8-day experience that feels like a great opportunity for your team as well as the teacher. And almost always that 8-day experience involves the teacher moving through the entire enterprise of your organization. And they tend to end up spending time with a different person every day, every 2 days, so that they really understand your workplace. I call it from the front door to the trash dumpster, right? So from the time you walk in, business services and reception, all the way, to the back end of your building, doing, really understanding the pathways and skill sets inside of your organization over 8 days is very, very doable. What we didn't want this to feel like, particularly during the summer, and as we know, most Memphians want to try to get a vacation in while the kids are out of school, we didn't want it to feel like babysitting for the employer, and we didn't want it to feel awkward or forced for the teacher. And I think that we have very successfully created an experience where at the end of those 8 days, everybody says, oh, that went so fast.
Thank you, Amity. So if you're interested in learning more, I would love to take 15-20 minutes of your time to go even deeper in this with you and figure out how to make this work for your business. To do that, all you have to do, you can email me. My email is there at the bottom of the screen, or click the QR code. Take a picture of the QR code. It'll sign you up via an interest form, and I'll reach out automatically. So that was a lot of a lot of information. So I want to just take us off of the actual presentation now and open it up for any questions that you have. And I know I see some former hosts actually who have participated in the program before. So if any of y'all, want to come off and share a little bit about your experience, we'd also welcome that. The floor is now open.
I also wanted to add that as part of oh, hey, Heather, I'll get to you. Part of the teacher experience and the vetting process, we do make reference calls. So this has to be a teacher in good standing, recommended and supported by their school principal or assistant principal. Sorry, Heather, did you have a question?
Yeah, actually I did. A very long time ago, I hosted a summer program for teachers when I was with the AIA. And so my question is, I know that it's valuable for the teachers to really see different environments in our profession. And would it be possible if I served as the lead, if I connected with a partner firm so that they get exposed to more diverse perspectives and voices to give them more of a robust kind of exposure experience?
Definitely. As a matter of fact, when Turner Construction first signed up, they had toyed with the idea of splitting the teacher 4 days and 4 days, 4 days with them and then 4 days with a partner construction agency or a subcontractor that works for them. That did not happen. They found that they could keep that teacher busy for all 8 days. And I had to threaten Andy Davis not to hire the teacher at the end of those 8 days and pull them away from the classroom. So, but yes, that's very doable. And you would be the first to do it. So we would be interested to see what an industry share looks like.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Any other questions, reactions? Here's what we will say our former externs tell us. Many of them still have active relationships with the place where they spent their time. Some have invited them into their classroom as a point of contact. One of the Cigna teacher externs is now an ambassador for all of the health benefits offered to teachers and individuals that are employed by, insured by Cigna, because some teachers do have that Cigna healthcare policy. I also want to say that this is an array of teachers from every type of school: charter school, Memphis Shelby County schools, municipal schools, private school. We do open the application to all of them. We also only open the application to high school teachers. If we opened it to middle and elementary school teachers, superintendents would never speak to me again. And you need to understand that during the summer, school districts count on their teachers, particularly at the elementary and middle school level, for remediation, summer camps, literacy camps. And so we don't want to pull them away from those critical programs during the summer months. So these are high school teachers that are coming to you. And that's also when students really start to ask questions about career pathways. They may have ideated about something leading into high school. As a matter of fact, we know that they do. But that's when they really start asking questions and looking for advice. And so the high school teacher is a critical lever for us.
Amity, you talked about the vetting process. What are you actually looking for in a teacher?
Carissa, do you want to cover some of the questions on the application?
Absolutely. So we we're really looking for teachers who are one, self-motivated and really want to do this to improve instruction, to increase their learning, to implement things in the classroom. And so we asked them a number of questions where they actually have to share kind of essay style responses. And we're looking in there for, do they understand what this program is and how they could use it and how would they use it? That gives us a really good sense of the type of teacher we're getting. We're also looking at, what sort of industries are they interested in and why are they interested in those industries? How does that tie back to what they're teaching or what they're hoping to do? We have a lot of college and career counselors who are saying, I want to do this because I don't know all of the careers that exist here. So I want to get exposure to what this looks like. But how do they get the program? How are they planning to use it? And then with their applicate or their references, we're really looking at, are they very trustworthy and reliable and consistent? Do they take initiative? Do they have curiosity? All of those kind of soft skills that we know makes, a great extern, a great employee, et cetera, because we really want to make sure that if they say they're going to do this, that they will commit to it, that they will show up on time, that they will come with an open mind and a lot of curiosity to the class or to the workplace. And then, how are they, when the program concludes, we also are looking for, how do they want to stay connected and do they want to stay connected, right? And really, it's hard to explain, but it becomes apparent pretty quickly who our best candidates are. And then our references and the vetting process on that, it helps refine it even more.
I'd
And then
also
the-
say they have to be available during the extern dates. And
Mhm.
so that does help us sort of sort it out when we're down to the wire, we're only taking 20 teachers, being available between those open dates and then matching teachers with the dates that the company has selected also sort of becomes a de facto filter once they've made it through the vetting process.
Thank you.
So along those lines, Amity, are these externships also available to other licensed professionals who support classrooms, but who may not happen to be classroom teachers?
We're focused on the classroom teacher.
And the reason for that, Amity, because I was thinking the same line, or like guidance counselors, people that come in.
Oh, no,
contact with
school
students.
counselors are more than fine. Yes, but I mean, they've got to have a direct student touch.
Okay.
I think we've had a CTE coordinator apply, but I don't think we've ever actually had a school counselor apply, but it is open to them.
Yeah, so there are literacy coaches and there are other licensed professionals who support the classrooms who would likely have availability during that time slot because they're not participating in a summer learning academy or something of that nature.
You bet. I'd be happy to do a download of the program with you, Quentin, if you want to grab some time on my calendar.
Thank you.
For our employers, any wonderings, aha moments? This is brilliant. Why didn't we think of that? And you can't wait to participate. I will say that the teachers must also go through orientation. Chris and I are both former teachers, so we appreciate that get to know you awkwardness that happens on that first day. And so we go through an orientation with the teacher and introduce them to the regional economy and why students can stay their entire lives in Memphis if they will just consider the career pathways and be aware of them. We also give them a note-taking guide that has some guiding questions for them to ask during their externship process to sort of get conversations going. Then Carissa introduces everybody by email, and we do that soft handoff to make sure everyone has their point of contact, they've connected, they're ready for their first day. And then that's also the importance of that midpoint check-in because we want to make sure everybody's having a good experience. Nobody has ever not had a good experience. And so we are pleased to say that so far everybody has raved about the value add of the 8-day investment. All right, Nance, it looks like we've done our job well. You know what they say, if they didn't learn it, you didn't teach it, but there are no questions, and so your follow-up is Carissa. You could also email me and I'll make sure that you get in touch with Carissa. But we only take 20 employers. We have ideated about scaling this much larger, but 20 seems to be the sweet spot where we can really appreciate and make sure that everybody's having the right meaningful experience. And so how many do we already have? 9, 10?
We already have 8 actually.
8. Okay. All right. So raise your hand quickly. Don't delay.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Amity,
Thank
for
you.